Hello and welcome to another one of my short how-to videos, and today we're going to look at Shield. Shield Analytics is one of the very few, if only tool, as far as I'm aware, that gives you richer, deeper insight into LinkedIn and to how your content is performing, which is really useful because it means you can start to get an understanding of what's working, what isn't working over set time frames, etc., etc. Also useful for social media teams because their corporate license does allow you to bring in other social LinkedIn profiles too. So without further ado, let's get into it. So once you've set Shield up, this is the dashboard that you are presented with, and lots of flexibility around the time frames that you can leverage. So 1 week, 4 weeks, month to date, quarter to date, year to date, weekly, monthly, and so often. You can create your own custom fields as well. And then you can label content within your dashboard, so you can start to label the particular post based on what it is, etc. What you then get are trend lines, and the dark blue line is the time period that you have selected, and then the light blue line is that same time period but the same period before, if that makes sense. So if it's a 1 week period, it looks at your current week and the week before. It's a 4 week period, it's looking at this 4 week window, and then the previous 4 weeks. Quarter to date would be this quarter to date, and then previous quarter to date, and so on. And the beauty of this is then you can start to see trends. So we can start to see here in terms of my likes at this point here, the switch as a switch, and then I'm getting less likes. Comments have become less over the previous period. Shares, engagement rate, I'm posting slightly less, and this is because of the perceived changes in the algorithm that we've seen. Good thing is my follower count is steadily increasing. Then we can start to get down into the nuts and bolts of it through here, and then you come into the actual posts. And this is what's really great, is that you can actually see the posted stuff. We can change this around. If I want to go by views, you can either do most views or least views, and then start to see which posts are performing the best or the worst. And then from here, you can then start to work out here. So this is the 10,000 views, 27 likes, 3 comments, 0.31% engagement rate. So not actually that much engagement versus this post here, 2.2% engagement. You see way less views, but much, much more engagement. And what you can start to get some interesting things, because whilst views are great, actually the engagement rate is the key here. And this one here is my I hashtag Ask Alex videos Friday, 1,500 views, 4418, an engagement rate of 4%. Then from within here, you can then start to actually drill down into the numbers if you're a bit of a data geek. So you can see views starts to increase, and then so this post here, you can start to see the numbers. As he says, trying to get it on the mouse and through all the varying. So views, likes, comments, and shares. And what's so useful about this is that you can start to see what is performing and what isn't performing. And then you can actually go to the post on LinkedIn. You can actually reshare this post if you want to, and you can start to build some really interesting insights around what's happening over time. And more to the point, start to get a sense of what content is performing versus what content isn't performing, and then start to do things around that. So you can see again overall there's a slight trend in terms of this perceived potential. I believe this is when we thought there was this change in the algorithm and the things that's the impacts that's now started to have. However, followers and connections have gone up, and 41,000 views versus 56,000 views the previous period, which is quite that's 26% decrease. So it'll be interesting to see what happens around that. As I said, I have started to post slightly less as well, and then again you get the same filters here. So if you're into the data, if you're into the nuts and bolts of it all, I highly recommend checking out Shield. And also you can use it this is a single license from a corporate license. You can then add in other people's profiles here. So if you're a social media manager, you can then have multiple profiles in here, and then you can start to look at how your content is performing across different profiles rather than it being a moment in time, and then starts to really help just give a bit more insight and data. So for example, where I would see this working really well is if you have an employee advocacy tool. You can start to match the data the employee advocacy tool is giving you and actually then start to see how the posts are performing on, truly performing on LinkedIn. And then the other thing here is, if you can see here, if there's a big spike, if I then click on this, that actually takes me through to the post. So that's that one with the 10,000 views here, and we can see then those stats. So that's Shield, well worth checking out if you're into the data and you want to get a better understanding of how your content is performing. Pretty straightforward, hope you see, but more importantly, hope you can see how you can potentially use that in the day-to-day. As it's, it's one for the data geeks, and it's one for those that want to truly understand their performance of LinkedIn and start to learn, see some trends, and start to work out which content is working versus which isn't, and then you can make your changes and adjustments accordingly. Let me know what you think. Please do subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Share this with anybody that you think might find it of interest. Otherwise, keep an eye out for the next videos I'm bringing out on other tools which I use on the day-to-day in my social selling journey. Thanks.